These walls can talk. Open your mind and listen.
Trailing down these hollowed halls, can you hear me? Staring down these storied walls, can you see me?
Hello everybody out there. Let me turn this off over here, my noise generator. Glad for you to come back for another version of the Dark Side, the podcast we have going on. Well, I'd say every other week kind of, but let's be truthful and honest. I guess this last one's been a few other weeks. It's been a busy number of weeks for us. Crazy, you know what, bringing in equipment, new equipment, trying equipment, different investigations. Acting on shows, setting up other investigations. Generally, summer is slower for us, but this doesn't seem to be the case this year, frankly, which is okay. You know what I mean? Like, you take it and you ride this roller coaster for when it's worth. Years ago, when we first began, you might handle 5 investigations a year, and then sometimes there were years, I think 2014, we handled almost 100 investigations in 1 year, and considering most of our investigations are hours away. That's not always a good thing. So right now we're enjoying it while we have it. We've got some great stuff coming up. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna see if I can do this properly. I'm gonna jump off air just for a sec so I can shut the door. I know that was heavily professional. I know in the background we've had some people complain about. Hey Josh. We're gonna have a flag up here soon that we're getting designed. See, now I gotta put my glasses back on, otherwise I can't see everything here. I just wanted to have the glasses off so the glare wasn't there, just to show you how natural the show is tonight. Here's my cue card, like I have normally. All right, and let's have a look over here. I'm gonna put myself up in the corner, and so some of the things that are going on. Oh, hey Carolyn. Some of the things that are going on in the next little while. Of course, we had just finished investigating Mansfield. You know what? This was a great investigation. The video is up now. We got a little bit of evidence. It wasn't ridiculous. To me, it wasn't what we experienced at Moundsville. But you know what? It was a really neat place. And that was that. You know what I mean? It was. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Let's see what else I can throw up here. Oh, man. And in a couple weeks, we're headed to do Bacon's Castle with CPRI. Bacon's Castle is the oldest brick building in the United States. This is kind of a more private style investigation in the way that we won't be doing a heavy production video. They don't allow video cameras in there, which is fine. You know what? I'm going to fly my drone overhead. You know what? We're going to go in there equipment light and just work on the audio and just do research, which is fantastic. I mean, we're not going to go down there worrying about who's videoing and who's walking around with whatever. We could just kind of just keep our equipment sitting around, and that'll be that, right? You know what I mean? So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Nothing to complain about. We got a chance to work with the guys at CPRI again. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get rid of this. I don't know if you guys can see that red line there. You probably can. But so yeah, we got some really cool stuff on the up and up. I'm really excited about the way this year's turning out. And I mean, there's enough stuff going on right now that I can comment on as well. You know what? We've bought some new equipment here to let you know. I mean, obviously, we've been working with this unit. You'll see that this is what the whole Connect situation is, right? And, my cord is not out on this, but one of the things we have to do in pragmatic investigation, I don't consider ourselves scientists. I sell nuts and bolts for a living. I'm not a scientist, but I can be pragmatic about it. And the STS system, you know what? There's false positives, right? Too much electrical could do it if you're aiming it where there's a drape. A drape will map it. One of the things you got to understand is that the way this thing is, hey Adrian, hey Tina, the way this system is programmed, the algorithms in the program, is that it's designed to map out a human, right? It's designed to identify a human figure in front of you. So we try to sort of create experiments. I'm going to take that off the screen right now and put my beautiful face up here. So what we try to do is we try and make it, we try and screw it up on purpose, right? You know, we'll have somebody standing out there with it. We put it around a great deal of electrical interference, you know, repeaters, all kinds of stuff to create that. We'll do it with all kinds of reflective surfaces and surfaces that will bind the camera. Believe it or not, we actually haven't been able to create a false positive with it, which maybe is a shout out to the gentleman from RLC Paranormal that built it for us, Mr. Knowles. Maybe he's done something with it that it's not glitching off like that. I'm still trying the best I can to screw this thing up. Now, mind you, I mean, a lot of the times you start seeing reactions. Where's the reach? I don't even know what the heck that means, Adrian. So basically, you know, you've got about a 15-foot range on this thing here, and if you're standing there, something else always seems to be standing next to you. If you're watching Ghost Adventurers, you know, you can always see everybody losing their shit because there's this oh my God, look at this little 4.5-foot creature that's standing next to me. Yeah, that's what I say. 15 feet, 15, 16 feet. Now, so put your glasses back on, Dave. Oh, you fucker. No, because the glasses, they glint off, and maybe if I turned off this light, I could put them back on. But you know what? Now it's all dark, and now I look all mysterious. That's okay then. So you know what? We try to do it where we're putting the STS, that's what we call it, right? The Connect, say down a hallway that's got matte paint for one. You know, it is limited in its distancing, no doubt. We have it where it's battery powered, so that's good. It's good for us. What I want to see now is if I'm going to send it down a hallway, right? And it's down a hallway, and I get a figure. No, there's nobody down that hallway that algorithm is gonna pick on somebody. There's nothing it's gonna pick on. Now, the next thing I want to look at is this figure just standing there, right? Which is what generally it's gonna happen. Or is it like will it interact? You know, if you ask this thing, you know, put your arms up in the air, is it gonna do that? Is it gonna walk across the screen back and forth? So then I would have to re-explain it. Why does this machine work? Right? The machine works because of its IR lights. So you know what I mean. My court's not out 100% on that. It'll probably take another dozen or two investigations to really know. I have gone out and spent some more money on investigative equipment. I will say this will be the last batch I buy for a long time. One, because my credit card can't handle it anymore, and two, because I just couldn't get any angrier. You know, I know we bought some from Ghost Stop. I can appreciate that. I still think certain things are way too expensive. You know, some people, when you're in a team, you have to do things pragmatically and you have to test new equipment. Like SP7, I have absolutely no love for. That to me is a piece of shit. I don't want it. But we had to try it, right? You know, so we ended up buying a couple new pieces of equipment. One was, you know, yes, you've all seen it. Oh, I'm cold. I don't know how to turn it on, so I'm cold. Touch me, right? That's the Boo Bear. This is the upper-ended one that can check EMF, temperature differences, and all that. Beats me, but we've had trigger objects before, and I probably spent too much on it. Second is the EDI, the EDI. Everybody's seen the EDI before. You know, it's just a great little everything in one. You know, I've never been crazy about toys that are everything in one, but I think what I liked about this one here particularly is the fact that you can put it all on. Yeah, I'm with you on it. You know, I could put an SD card in it and track some information that I want to track. You know, it is what it is. I'm fortunate to have a large enough team where we can kind of put finances together for that kind of stuff. I've got a lot of equipment. We have a lot of equipment, and a lot of equipment that I look at now and go, what a waste, and I'll end up selling it to some other team. Eventually, my money goes into audio, but you know what, it is what it is. So we're gonna see what it is with those, right? You know what I mean? We'll see. You know? It's gonna depend on the investigation. The investigations we're doing soon, I'm not bringing them because I'm not. We're headed off to do our, where is it here? Oh, look at that. All right, well, I guess I don't have a picture of it. I thought I did. There's an old Air Force base we're going down to, and it's basically covered in paint from paintball. That's what they host there. So none of this equipment's going down there. But we're headed down there next weekend. And like I said, a couple weekends after that, we're headed down to go see CPRI in Virginia. And then in September, we're doing something else. Oh yeah, we're going to Ashmore in September, which would be amazing. And then in October, Sandy and I are down to New Orleans. So this is an excellent year for us. You know, we just got back from doing some investigations locally in Oshawa. Now, this is going to bring me into another couple comments and statements. One of which is, we did an investigation with a Extreme Actor, it was called. It was for our television network up here, and I got to admit, I acted it up. I went in there. It's not my show. It was their show. The guy's pitching a show. And afterwards, like Sandy was kind of giving me a little bit of shit in the car because I was kind of glipping it up for these guys. And it did speak to integrity. Integrity is kind of important, but realistically speaking, this wasn't an investigation. It was an investigation for them, but really it was all about a guy learning to be a ghost. All right, it was a lot of fun. You know, we were there for a couple hours. You know what I mean? The guy's very enigmatic and crazy. But you know what? Frankly, I didn't consider this to be an investigation. But that harkens into a lot of other points, which is when you watch a television show, I think one of the things that a lot of investigators like ourselves need to do is get off our high horse. Look, I mean, we watch these shows, and whether we like them or not, we can say it. That's all about opinions, right? But let's get real. All of these shows, you know, you can have a hard-on for whatever show you want, are productions. Regardless of whether that show is one you like, they are all productions. They could be full of shit. They could be lying. They could be setting things up. I don't know. But I guarantee every single show has got a producer in the corner that's saying, look, guys, you come around the corner again. Do that again. You know, that's Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventurers, every single one of them. They're TV shows, okay? They're TV shows. So people shouldn't be so defensive of them. And I know that if you have an opportunity to be on one of those shows, you're going to go on it. And if you're going to act up, you're going to act up a little bit. Why? Because it's entertaining. One of the major reasons why our team has never managed to attain a show, and this is from talking to, 30 producers over the last number of years, we're boring. Our videos are done well. Sandy does a great time editing them, but we're not a TV show, you know. Philip, well, that's gonna be. Would you think that a commercial available FLIR would be good enough to catch them? Okay, it's kind of funny that I was going to talk a little bit about FLIR tonight. Look, FLIR is designed for HVAC technicians and firefighters. The average Joe, and myself included for the most part, is not trained to use FLIR correctly. Now, I was involved in the pipe, valve, and fitting world, so I got to see a little bit more of it than most. We have used FLIR. We have FLIR 1. There is a commercially available FLIR. You hook it on your iPhone, for about $400. We have one. I'm going to treat FLIR kind of like the way we treat EMF, like your K2 hits or your MELs, how I treat most things. It's not a Bible truth. I don't look at it and go, you know what, this is absolute proof. What I look at it and go is, okay, look, I'm seeing a cold signature. There's a cold figure there. Could this be a resilient reflective image? Yeah, it could be. Or it could be something else, right? But it gives me a reason to go look at something. I probably would never base an entire case on one. Now, mind you, when we were at Mansfield, we got heat signatures coming up almost like flames off of a bed frame. And I mean like a wire bed frame. This was at the same time as we heard like a crackling over the audio. And in the same place that, and I don't like REM pods, let's knock this one up. I don't like REM pods. But in the same spot where a REM pod was going off, when where we were asking for it to go off, and we were 30 cells down the way. So it was just kind of odd that out of one cell where the claims existed, this is all there. So a FLIR can be like substantiated evidence, not proof, evidence. FLIR be good enough to catch something the kind used for home security. Yeah, like I said, there's some value to FLIR. It's just whether you're reading it as a false positive, for sure. So now going into this whole concern now about just taking a look at my cue card. Hold on, guys. Did I do this? Did I talk about this? Who knows? You're welcome. Now, in going on to what I was just talking about when it comes to being a show in production, I do also think a lot of us investigators need to get over ourselves. I'm going to respond to this shit going on with Nick Groff, okay? But I'm not going to do it like everybody else, okay? When I see everybody thinking like they have to have this nice little produced video, you know, hi, I'm Jeff Johnson, and I'm the leader of CPTGG Paranormal. Come on the hell on, right? You know, we're all D-listers. Look, there's probably about 5 people nowadays in the paranormal world that are A-listers. I wouldn't call them A-listers. I call them B-listers. But like really, really recognizable. On TV still. Very current, right? Most of us are not. I'm seeing hundreds of videos about Nick Groff and the ghosts of Shepherdstown. So I'm going to throw my opinion in there. I mean, I'm going to have my opinion about this. I've had a few conversations with Nick Groff. He's a nice guy. I like Paranormal Lockdown as an entertaining show. I just think that Nick Groff, more than most, seems very sincere. He's a sincere sounding guy. You know what I mean? His show is interesting. But it is, after all, a TV show. And that's even Lockdown. Ghosts of Shepherdstown. I guess somebody, I didn't read it because I haven't got the time to sit back and look at rumors and that stuff. I don't really care. Actually, to be truth told, I asked Sandy to tell me about it because I just didn't want to. But I mean, obviously somebody said it was faked. All right. Have you watched Ghost of Shepherdstown? All right. Yeah, the show looks a little scripted to me. But I don't know. I'm not on the damn show. I was told by somebody that the town needs money, and that's why it was done. But does anybody watch these shows thinking, oh my God, that's the truth? It's a freaking TV show. It's definitely written a bit more glitzy. I don't like it. I watched about 2 episodes of it, and I didn't watch it after that. I thought it was too produced. You know, but who cares, right? Who cares? Nick is a decent individual. Jay and Grant, who we have more affiliation with because we're CHAPS family, were also smoked on faking things. Did they? They say they didn't. You know, I've got to take people for their word. I watched people show me what got faked. It looked bad. But do I care? Not really. I don't look at those people as the people I need to have tell me the truth. There are people in the paranormal world I don't care for. I'm not really the biggest fan of Zach Baggins, you know, because he's a lot of ego, right? I mean, you get what you get with him. I didn't care for Ghost Mine back in the day. I thought Extreme Paranormal was pretty stupid too. You know, well, I don't even know what's on nowadays. Let's see. Ghost Brothers. No, I don't think any of it's that particularly good, although this next season is better than their last. I find it really entertaining. I find it a lot of fun. And that's why I watch it. I watch it because I want to see a TV show. I don't watch it so that I learn something from my team. I watch it because I want to be entertained. If I want to learn something from my other team, what I do is go out there and I work with other teams and see how they do things. You know what? I've learned things from RVPRI, I've learned things from Wichita, I've learned things from CPRI, I've learned things from COPS, I've learned things from all kinds of teams out there. You know what? And that's what's important about what we do. Like, okay, for example, right? Like we're gonna go investigate with CPRI again. I really, really enjoyed working with them. They're really great guys. They have a whole southern politeness going on. It's fantastic. We're going to go down there again this time, and I want to see what else I can learn from them. Their usage of hygrometers and that was really interesting, and using weather patterns, and then their actual usage of home base set auto or pick lines. Great. Now we're doing it because it really makes the person watching the DVR feel like they're a part of it, and that I really like. What shows you correctly? Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Adrian. I mean, like a lot of the times it's the where they are. And you know what? Like as my wife who's on there under Dad Gibbs says, um, you know, that we like the first season of Ghost Brothers better. Yeah, because they were like new and they're all just kidding around, right? I like the older seasons of Ghost Hunters better because they were doing houses and they all seemed very sincere about it. And then as it went on further and further and further, all the product always has to change, right? You know, when it went further and further and further, all of a sudden they had to be more produced and more professional and more, you know, cured. And sometimes it's better to watch, but you lose a certain, you know, that they don't have. Let me go back to this here. So yes, so for those who know what I'm talking about, this is the gentleman I'm speaking about, Nick Groff. You know what? Like I said, Nick's a great guy, but you know what? He's whereas at one point in time, like, I mean, this is different. Like, you know, say a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, if you made a comment on his Instagram picture, he would make a comment back to you. Now you're going through his agent, right? The show that I'm talking about goes to Shepherdstown. Now even look at the picture, man. Just look at the picture. I had Sandy take some shots of us so that we could look good. But like I just can't look that good. Like I'm built like the guy on the bottom. You know, I'm a little overweight, but I can't even look that good overweight. Maybe my wife is just not that good of a photographer. I don't know. So back to podcast. All right. So you know it's really comes right down to that. It really comes down to here's my thing. I don't care. I don't necessarily think that Nick is faking it. You know, like when I think faking it, I think like I'm out there intentionally to get people that way. Maybe it's just because I'm hoping he isn't that way. I could be wrong. Like when I see Zach Baggins doing the STS, right? And you know he's losing his cool about over everything. Everything's so demonic and whatever. I tend to think he's a little more to that. I see the guys from Ghost Asylum. This is the new big show, I guess. He used to be on one of the Ghost Hunters Academy, and now he's got his own thing there, the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, and you know he's built like a brick shithouse, and everybody's wonderful on that show. But I don't know. I don't know. I think they make things dramatic. A couple weeks from now, I'll be seeing Kevin Betzer from Deep South Paranormal. I'll probably meet up with him in New Orleans. Deep South Paranormal again. It was a damn show, right? It's a show. When we do our videos, and if we have a team meeting, right? Yeah, that's right. The shows are bullshit. The shows are for entertainment, right? I don't think there's anything wrong. Like I think what's funny about our field there, frankly, Jake, is the fact that people often it's like they get ashamed because they are enjoying watching a show. But you know what? That's silly. It's high horsean. When I see somebody trying to talk that way, I don't bother with those shows. Like I don't watch Ghost Hunters because I suppose it's most similar to how we handle things. I guess. I mean, the most of any of it. I just watch it for entertainment value, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I find some of them. And Adrian's right there. And it's true. People do think that that's the way it is. People think we've actually had clients that get upset when we show up and we don't have TV crews. It is what it is. That's now going to open the door to my next topic because we have. I have a team. I don't have a team, but there's a team down in Brantford that we have dealt with there that handled a case for us, I believe. They couldn't go into that case because it was going to be a conflict of interest, right? a conflict of interest about, I don't know what government agency was involved with the home, but somebody on that team works for that government agency. I believe that is the case. So then the people in the home lost their mind, and started abusing these people online and calling them names. And I started thinking about that. I don't know about you, my team doesn't charge a dime. And if I'm driving 2 or 3 hours, paying for a hotel, I'm going in the hole to help you. I want to help you, and I want research, right? My team, the only thing I get in payment is the ability to make a video if I want to. That's the way it goes. All right. And all of a sudden, people start getting nasty about it because you don't give them the answer they particularly wanted. But they got abused. They were called names online because they couldn't. They basically had a conflict of interest where somebody could lose their job if they went and investigated there. And this is kind of annoying me because now that I think about it, like my team is just around the corner to 500 investigations. All right. 14 years my team has been investigating. The amount of places that we've traveled for hours and hours and hours to get there and they can't pick up the garbage off their floor is one thing. Two, we don't give them the answers they want. Now, whether that means they think their house is crazy haunted, we do it and we're like, I can't come up with anything and I can explain whatever. And then now you're like, well, you can't produce a video. Or you can't show any results. Or you can't talk about this. Or you guys are assholes and don't know what you're doing. The other day on my fan page, I had somebody send me a video of a fluff. Too fast, I was explained, too fast to be fluff. I said, you know what? I got to be honest with you. 99% of the time, this is I can debunk this. So I really would cast this off. Unfortunately, whatever was my answer. Why are you asking me for an opinion? If you already know that your house is haunted, why are you asking me? Why are you getting me to put my time into looking at what you do? You're getting me to look into what you do, but you already know. Okay. They do get agreements to post. Sometimes, though, however, when they just spit far too much fire, it's just not worth even producing. We generally take care of 90% of that kind of stuff ahead of time. Most people know that we make videos. Most people have got no problem with the fact we do it, but once in a while they do. Yeah, you'd send me a message there on that, Joni, about that. We'll have to get back in there. It's just what it is it's not even that it stops us from doing it. What it is the mindset, right? Like if we go into a place and people are upset and pissed off that we didn't come up with what they wanted, or that we didn't come in there like ghost hunters. Sometimes they come in there, or how about this? We've traveled a couple hours to get somewhere, and literally the people want us in and out of there in 90 minutes. Well, I can't even set up my equipment in 90 minutes. All right, so we'll explain what we're going to do. And then, of course, that night they end up wanting to have a freaking rock concert in their house as well. And then when I turn around and I say, look, you know what? You had far too much going on in there. I got no evidence for you because there's too much. They get mad at that too, right? This is my fault. And some other teams deal with the same kind of crap, right? I think we've all had that kind of client. We've all had that kind of client, and sometimes it's important to know that when we do an investigation, we're going to get home, right? I'm not going over the evidence next day because I'm going to be too tired, and I don't care about it next day. You know what? And then biggest mistake our team did. Huh? Yeah. You know what? I've been through a lot of members in my team. Right now, I have it where there are people that are guests for a longer period of time. Sometimes we have clients that come on, and that's okay. That's okay. We've had people that were clients that became fairly good team members. I'm a particularly demanding director. My team will tell you that. A lot of my team has been with me for 10 plus years. Some of them shorter time than that. Generally speaking, if you get past the 2-year mark, you're okay. Most people get pissed off at me for something like Fire Center, and people move on, right? I have a criteria. I have a priority criteria. You know what? I have clients, and honestly, if you can't handle it, you can't handle it. You know, and it's not me being rude about it. That's why we have guests. So, going back into what I was just saying, um, you know what? Like it's basically at least a 2 week, 2 to 3 week process, right? Like we put the evidence on process vid. So a lot of our clients are hours and hours and hours away. So you know what? We basically tell them that we'll produce what they've done. We'll put the evidence on a vid. We'll show it to them. You know, but we've got to, you know, we put it, we import it, we go over the audio, then I've got to shred the video down for the crap, and Sandy has to put the, we go over the evidence a bunch of times to make sure whether what we're presenting, you know, so you're probably 2 or 3 weeks each case. A team like mine will handle probably 30 to 40 cases a year on average, right? So we all have full-time jobs, and sometimes clients don't seem to think we work for a living. You know, I don't know how they wouldn't think that because we don't charge any money for the investigations that we do. Whatever. It is what it is. Those are like standard complaints you're going to hear from most teams. I don't know a team out there that doesn't have horror stories. It is. Now, so one of the things I kind of wanted to discuss was people were. Now, hold on, I'm just going to check here and make sure I got everything. Don't use FedEx. There you go. There's my bitch right now. I ordered parts from the States. We got FedEx delivered it. I paid $40 in American to get it delivered to Canada. We get it up here, and those sons of bitches show up at my door wanting a check for $160 more. And then they say that they didn't have a check, they're going to send it back, all kinds of stuff. Don't use them. They suck. Oh, was I saying FedEx? UPS. Use FedEx. Don't use UPS. That's pretty much that there. Everything else I covered. Okay, so what I'd like to go on is somebody, Johnny from Bytown, had, yeah, it was UPS, Kevin. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was bitching all of a sudden about FedEx. Maybe they sucked it. We're talking about EVP gradient. How to grade your EVPs. And I got to be honest with you. I see this more as a problem on the TV shows. Like if you're watching Ghost Adventurers, you know, they'll be like, listen to this. What? What is that? I'll tell you how our team gets around it. First off, we videotape in the third person. So generally we're videotaping as people are talking. We're videotaping them, not what they're looking at. And we do that as part of the debunking. You know, I'm sure everybody's seen like the whole 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 2B, 1B situation. It's pretty important that you use that. Our team doesn't generally go beyond, say, like a C or a 3. So going by gradient, I know that John from Bytown had asked me about this. Like I'm sure every team does it a little bit differently. Actually, see some teams do it backwards, like where the B's are what the letters are. Okay, so the one to me would be an EVP that is crystal clear and does not need to be altered. Okay, the 2 would be one that have to have slight amplification. Okay. 3 would be one where you're now actually doing modular work on it, like you're removing the hiss and all kinds of stuff. 4, it's a bloody whisper, and you know nobody can really tell. There might be a slight argument as to what's being said, and then a 5 would be like, look, shit, right? Right. So that kind of goes to that, and we go beyond that. Then it's into like noises and stuff, clicks, bangs, pops. Clicks, bangs, and pops are fine for like when you're standing there and somebody goes like, what the hell was that, right? But honestly, it's not evidence. It's a personal experience. Now, A, B, C, D, E, right? Well, that really comes right down to context. You know, A, like a 1A EVP would be like crystal clear and has direct context with what's being said. You know, direct. Like, and I hate it when like there's one word, no, you know, mom, right? Which could be made of things, but generally, I would consider a 1A like a multisyllabic, direct comprehension. No need to work with it. Holy Grail. B, responsive. Okay, definite responsive to what you did. Maybe singular worded. C, kind of random, random shit going on, right? Could be, but have nothing to do with what you're doing. And then like you start getting to D's and E's where this is somewhat incomprehensible, and there's still an argument of what it means. Now I've got a 1A that we had. I'm going to set this up for you. You guys are going to have to let me know if it doesn't come up. We did an investigation at Hillview, and Carolyn, so there's 3 of us in the room at the time. Everybody else is outside having smokes. The walls are, these damn walls are like prison walls. They're huge, thick. And Carolyn was leaving the room. Me and John are in the room. Okay? Neither one of us is a child. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in an old retirement home. She's basically saying, I've left my smokes in the car. I got to get them. Okay? So I'm gonna see if I can figure this one out. All right, so we're gonna go back down to here. And in a moment, I'm gonna mute my mic. Okay, there it is. Sandy set all this up for me, so if it's messed up, she did it wrong. I think it's gonna give a bit of context, so it's not just like 2 seconds, but we'll see. So I'm gonna mute me.
I'm still jumpy from you freaking out now.
Gotta get him.
The footage on that.
Okay, so I'm going to try and play that one more time for you guys, so you guys can turn up your radio just in case. Let me know if it didn't work. Okay, I'm going to see.
I'm still jumpy from you freaking out now.
Gotta get him.
The footage on that.
Yeah, so that EVP, we spent weeks on that. Weeks and weeks and weeks going over video. Yeah, no doubt that we got screwed by brokerage fees on that, which is crap. And you get it to the point where it's like, I want my stuff, right? So I'm gonna pay it. Hey, I'm going Ron. Good Ron. So when it really comes down to it, so that EVP right there was what I would, and it's an opinion only, what I would consider a 1A. Okay, so we had a child's voice where there are no children, a male child's voice. Again, these are all subject to opinion. You guys might not think so. I often find that most times it's pretty natural of a team to say, no, you didn't get it. No, that's not right. We're all going to say it. We're all going to say it, okay? You know what? And I can tell you, look, I've investigated with a number of you that are already on here. And I've definitely been on investigations where I've seen what one of you guys considered evidence, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really care for that very much. Or I might say, I don't really care for the way you do things. But you know what? What's that, Johnny? Go Stop sent me my stuff by courier. Next time I ask for it. Good. Well, the next time that's what I'm going to ask for. I was absolutely pissed off with that. Right. You two have a good night, Adrian. Okay. Adrian is just getting off here. I've investigated with Adrian a couple times, and you know what? I like Adrian's style. I like his gig. You know what I mean? You'll see if you watch my video for Mansfield, you see on the live chat Adrian Scalp. You'll see him working with my team that night. Like him very, very, very much. They're probably quieter than me verbally, but that's okay. You are a pain in the ass. You know what? And I'm, but I mean, there are other people. Like we did an investigation with Adrian in a building in Arkansas, and we worked with about 6 teams that night. Like, the building was monstrous. The building was the size of the West Edmonton Mall, right? Like, it was huge. And there were a lot of teams there that night that I've known for years that I was like, oh, Jesus, I really don't like the way they do things. But I still respect them as a team, right? That's the important part. I've heard their evidence. I may not always agree with it, but that's the great thing about what we do. All right, you take a look on this conversation board, Kevin. I worked with Kevin for years doing this. Do I always agree with every single thing Kevin says or does? Hell no, right? But that's the beautiful thing. Ron Knowles now, he's the gentleman that built my STS unit, and I'm trying to fault it, and I can't at this point in time. Not saying it'll never happen. Ron is very gadgety. I'm not really a gadgety guy, so we would have some difference of opinions, and that's okay. It's the beauty of what we do. All right. Now, difference of opinion is a big deal, different than a team that's destroying things for other people. Me and Ron have had some extensive conversations about that, particularly because we have teams out there that are destroying it for everybody. But you know what? As long as you're keeping your integrity as a team, I'm okay, right? Like some teams, if they want to use a lot of mediums, I'm okay with that. But the minute you start, saying improper things like "this is proof," et cetera, well, then I think you're losing your integrity. Integrity is the most important thing out there. Period. If you want to be real to yourself, and you're being real to your client, you're not giving your client a load of BS. You're not charging your client money. You're not lying to your client, and then you're not really hurting anybody, right? It's the same thing in the martial arts. I'm thinking about I'm opening my dojo up again. All right, in October. I've been in the martial arts for a long time, but I went independent. You see, I went independent. I used to belong to a huge school, and then I went on my own. And I had everybody, oh, you're a fake, you're a fake, you're a fake. I said, it's amazing that I can study the right stuff for 18 years, and then I'm all of a sudden a fake. But realistically speaking, I wasn't saying something I wasn't, right? I wasn't saying that I was directly licensed by a certain organization or whatever, yada, yada, yada. As long as you're telling the truth and you're honest, that's really what matters. To get our heads out of our ass, none of us are doing it right. None of us know the truth. None of us. You could be like best medium in the world and still be full of shit. You could be the most impressive, respected, integritous team, and you're still doing it wrong. Because you know what? In 30 years, there might be this weird door that opens up and a bunch of freaking three-headed mole people walk out. And this is who we've been talking to for the last 50 years. Or Harry Price could have been doing this right 50 years ago using a ticker tape machine that he was using to communicate with spirit. We don't know. Scientists do what scientists do, and they may not be right. So we're all just playing games right now and trying new things. So if all we can do is keep our integrity, our honesty, and not hurt anybody, then we're fine, right? So let's all get our heads clean out of our asses and get our heads out of the clouds. It's okay to dream big. Man, if you want your team to be on TV, great, be on TV. But, let's think about who we are, right? Really, you can die tomorrow. I can die tomorrow. You can get arrested tomorrow for doing something. You can go to jail. You can get shot. You can get called a fraud. So we all just need to take a big stare and look at ourselves and just, are we being honest and are we being good to each other? And as far as, the whole paranormal unity thing, are we all trying to get along? We understand there's maybe a little bit of competition there. There is. It's the way it is. But you know what? Shit, man. What we're doing is a hobby. It is a hobby at best. So let's not worry if Nick Groff is lying. Let's not worry if my EVP. Let's not worry about having a difference of opinion. If my EVP is not what you like, that's fine. Let's just worry about, let's not hurt people, and let's keep it real. All right, so I haven't got too much else to talk about tonight. If you guys have any questions you want to ask, I'm here for another minute. I got my hair cut. It's short now. I shaved the other night, but I got to shave again. I bought this shirt from Value Village. It's really comfortable. Okay, so anyway, I guess that's all that anybody can say. I got a lot to go on. My team is fantastic. I love my team, and I love everybody's team. And I really love the fact that in Ontario we have this great communication going on between each other. Ron, I'm going to thank you because the team that you're working with seems to have calmed down a lot. I can't say I 100% agree with every single thing that gets done down there, but you know what? I can appreciate the fact that you've kind of put like a bit of a down there to kind of calm that down because it was really out of control. You know what? I'm really proud of what's gone out there. I'm really proud of, Kevin with Capture Paranormal. The product you guys are putting out is ridiculously good. And I'm glad that I at least had some part to do with that. I'm seeing the videos that Bytown's put out. Like you guys have put out, I don't know, I think it was 114 videos in 2 days. I'm trying to get through them. I will. I really love the way you guys do things. And you know what? You've got some of my ex-members there, right? So, you know what I mean? I could be a stiff ass and be all mad about that, but I'm not. I think it's fantastic, you know? So everything is great. And let's just keep it great. All right? So, guys, signing off. Have a great night. Thank you for being here with me. I'm just wonderful. Have a good night.